Hello, this is Jeff Rivette from William Carey University, and this is Ceramics and Art, and this module is going to be on the slab construction. And I want to show you a few things. Up to this point, you should have learned from the other videos how to take a piece of clay of the appropriate weight that you want to, that you believe it would take to fabricate what you wish to make. And you're going to wedge that. We showed you how to wedge it in a previous video. And now we have the piece of clay and we want to make it into a slab piece. This is a piece of slab clay that I've cut already previously from a long piece, but I'll demonstrate a little bit here on how to flatten it out and roll it out using these. I have two paint sticks and they're approximately a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch, maybe 3/8, and I'm going to lay them on both sides of my clay and then use a roller dowel like this one, or in this case today I improvised using a metal canister, and you can, this regular hardware spray can, and I will show you how to do this in just a moment because my rolling pin was not readily available, so I improvised that. So just letting you know, you can use items, household items, to help you fabricate your clay. So let me just show you quickly. What I'm going to do is stand up and using the strong parts of my hand as we were going to wedge, but in this case we're just simply going to flatten it out. So we're just going to flatten it, and don't allow it to be pushed so far down because we're going to roll over it in a moment with our can and also with our dowel, just to be certain on the thickness. But you're going to take this piece and you're going to flip it over, making sure it's nice and flat. And you're going to just kind of work it because your palm is shaped a certain way. You can put creases in it and waves in it. So you really have to assert some strength and move your hands around just to flatten it out like so. And then flip it again because this is the nice flat part. You want to try to make it even consistency all the way top to bottom, left to right. And then when you get about to this place, you can, we'll flip it over one more time, and I'm going to take a piece of plastic because it's moist clay. I'm going to lay a piece of plastic over it like so, but I'm going to make sure I've got my pieces of wooden material the same thickness, both of them, nice level surface. I'm going to lay my plastic over the top like so, and then I'm going to take, I can take the dowel, the wooden dowel here, and just run over it like so, and push the clay down until this dowel is sitting on this the pieces of wood stock it's on both sides. So I'll just take my canister here and just run over it to kind of get a bulk of it down, to kind of put some pressure. And you can be careful and allow the can to run off the side of the piece of wood stock there, and you're going to press it down too much. So we have to be mindful of that. And I'm just going to roll it over it like so. I'm going to lay my canister back aside. I'm going to take the plastic off, and you can tell it has flattened it out to a greater degree, and it's almost ready to go. So we can run our dowel over the top just to be certain. Yeah, I got a little bit more there. You can see how it's beginning to stretch out because our dowel is now resting on this wooden stock here, and it is anything that is higher here in the middle will have to go somewhere. That clay is being manipulated. So watch the clay move. And I'm pulling it back, and it's pushing the clay this way in order to level it off, even with these two dowel pins here. So that's what I did, and then I took my stock out of the way, and I took my ruler and I measured off the width of what I wanted to fabricate here. I'm going to make a simple square box, but I do need to make the bottom of the box. So with that, I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to measure. It's approximately 6 inches, so I need a little 6-inch square box for the bottom. And we're going to go ahead and cut that out with our needle tool here and here. And then we're going to measure across, and we're going to draw us a line. Kind of crude, but it doesn't have to be perfect to start with. This is just kind of giving us our measurements, and we can make it, just say 3 inches in length. We're just going to build a simple box just for the demonstration. 3 inches up, like so, and then we're going to draw a cut across the end like that, okay? And then we're going to lay this side. I'm going to just trim out the material on both sides so I can easily peel this up like that. I'm going to lay that aside. I'll need that in just a few moments. And I'll lay this aside as well. So here is the bottom of my piece. I'm going to choose and select again a drier area. And then I'm going to lay out my pieces. And also, again, I encourage you, you can take your pencil and just draw out what you want. Like if I wanted to build a simple, let me do it for you so you can see. Here's the bottom, 6 inches, and then I angle out the tops a little bit, maybe like so, and then go across and make a little makeshift little box like so. And this is the inside here. Looking at your angle, you can kind of see just a little simple little box. And then here's the bottom here. I'm going to take my pieces and lay them out. This is one side like this, one side like this, and then I'm going to use a piece like this, and it's most likely going to have to be cut in half. Yes, 3 inches in the width. But let's go ahead and begin to cross hatch. Remember the cross hatching and the scoring, like so, because you got to give something of a rough surface in order to allow the slip to adhere to. And then you're going to put a cross hatching on the end of your pieces. And this is going to be interesting to put together because I'm going to have to put it together like so, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and fabricate a side. I'm going to make it 3.5. I know it was supposed to be 3 because that's what this is, but I'm going to do a little extra on the ends with this because I wanted to fabricate kind of an angled type piece. And I'm just going to cut off about from the point here to about maybe a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to fabricate a piece that kind of is looking like this shape here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the end here and the end here to facilitate that. And I'm also going to lay my piece, because the other one opposite side has to match. I'm going to try to mimic the same pattern, the same size, by laying one on top of the other. And this may be a little faster. Please stop the video if you can, if you would like, in order to watch this in a slower fashion. And see, there's my 2 pieces of my little box here with the angled bottom. So I want to also lay these pieces out. Let me see how big this has got to be. Okay, and that's going to be there. And I want us to have a piece where we can angle out like so. Made it a little bit wider, that's good, at the top. And then I'm going to take and make a piece. Let's just do it this way. Let's lay it here and kind of make it a little bit wider. Let's see how that's going to work for us. I think that's going to work better. And then this is our pattern. Let's see about that one. Yeah, that one will work better. I'll go back to this one. I'd like to get a clean one because I need to make we have to make a lid too. Okay, there we go, there we go. So I have all my pieces, and it's important to separate what you're going to use. And I'm going to go ahead and score all the bottoms of everything because it has to attach, and also the sides where they all go together, because they're all going to be fitted together here. And again, this is just simply another way of fabricating your clay, much like the coil, but this just happens to be a rolled out slab, and you're cutting out your pieces, and it should be just another method for you to use for your toolbox on how to fabricate and to construct your pieces of art. All right, so all I'm doing now is scoring my pieces where I want them to go together. Just envision these standing up on end like so on the ends of this, and then these pieces coming together. Actually, we can put it actually here on the ends like that. So I can actually, instead of the bottoms, make it on the sides. I'd like to do that, make it a little better, like that. And we're getting it all put together here. And all I'm doing is just this repetitious scoring in order to allow the slip here to get into these pores of these lines that I'm making, the rough places. I think I've got it all together, and we're going to build this now. And I want you to just be able to see this, so I'll move it closer. and we're going to lay the pieces out. Always lay it out. Make sure it's the way you want it to be, and we're going to put it there. And I need to score these sides, and actually I can smooth this back out a little bit, and I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm going to score these sides in order to give these sides something to stick to. Okay, good. And we have these pieces. And I'm now going to get me a little bit of slip. And you see it's all made out really well. And I'm going to paint on my edges like so. It's just like the old mortar for the bricks. And we're going to stand these up. Now, I'd like to move it back because I got a little wet on there. And I'm going to stand this one up and I'm going to press it together. I'm going to press it together. Just like that. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to press it together also. Pressing it together. Let me see if I can turn it sideways so you can see. There we are. You can press it together just like that. See that? Okay, great. I'm going to move it closer to the camera so we can get a better angle. And now I'm going to take some more of the slip and I'm going to paint these edges. And I'm also going to paint the sides. And I'm going to just take and just simply stick it in here like that. Pinching these parts together and also the bottom. Pressing it in, allowing that slip to do its job, do its work. And that is to bond it all together. And I'm going to turn this around so you can have a good view. Let me dry my hands because it's getting rather wet. And I'm going to pick this up and you'll be able to see. Can you see that? Great. Look at that. And you'll see the inside is formed up together and it's just all bonding together. And I'm going to now paint a little bit more of this good slip, this good clay and water mixture. Put me a little bit down here on these arms, these pieces sticking up, and then I'm going to stand it right here and I'm going to press it in also. So this very quickly gives you an illustration how we can bond these pieces of clay. And all I'm doing is I'm literally taking two pieces of clay and just mashing them together like that, and they're just sticking right together because they're made that way. It's the same molecular structure, and you're putting a bonding agent, which is that slip in there, and you're able to build a nice little vessel or beginning of a vessel, much like this. Okay, and it's still very pliable, as you can see, and I can sit it down and I can begin to use my tools. Let me find my tool under here, get this needle. Okay, I can use this burnisher on this end, and then I can begin to, on the inside, begin to run the spoon, I call it, the spoon of this burnisher on the inside, and just kind of smooth out all the edges and kind of blend in. And I can run over all the seams on the inside and also the outside, just kind of making things nice, and I can run over it like that. Now again, you're only limited by your imagination and how you want it to look, and I'm going to show you this in just a moment after I kind of blend in these places where it's come together like this. And here you are. That's just a nice little beginning of a bowl, and it's very pliable still, so I'm having to be careful as it dries. I need to sit it still, and I need to straighten the walls back up the way I want it to look. Now, I talked about having a lid, and we have an extra piece of clay here, actually a couple of extra pieces of clay that we can fabricate a lid. So let me measure. The overall lid size for this particular one is 4 1/4, and it's 4 1/4, excellent. And then I will take my needle tool and I will measure 4 1/4 here, 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 about right there. And I'm going to get as much of this clay as I can. I hope we are good for a nice long lid. Let's see. We will improvise if we do not. And it's supposed to be approximately, that's about 7. And that's about 7 right there. Okay, we will make this work. And let me trim the end off of this. And I can either come back and add clay to this, or I can actually roll it out a little more. In this case, I'm going to just manipulate it just a little bit with my fingers, making this lid just a little bit thinner in order to suffice to get my lid. Now, normally you can roll out more clay, but just for this benefit of this video, I am manipulating it a little bit and getting it out there the right length in order to lay it on top, like so. Great, great. Now this is going to have to dry separately in order for it not to sag down in the middle. So we're going to leave it on this flat surface, like so. And all I'm doing now is just kind of shaping it. I'm using my eyes to kind of square it up a little bit. I can actually use my ruler to measure and various things. And then I'm going to, on top of this, I'm going to roll out a lid knob for the top. And we did this in the last video. We rolled out coils, and I'm rolling out a simple little coil that in my mind I make a lot of these. But if you're new with this, you just kind of cut you one off at probably, let's see, our length. This one is 5 inches. That's perfect. You can do that. And then you can take just a simple coil like this, and you can take your finger and take it and put it on top like that, on top of it like that. And you can simply just allow it to sit on your finger and allow another finger to sit here, just like this. Let me show you. Just like that. And you hold it and you press down a little bit with these fingers, allowing it to stick right there. And you allow that to sit there for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then once you're done with that, this example could be, and you'll sit it right here like that. Take that one and put it right here in just a few moments. And also, while you have it like this and while that's drying, you can also take a piece of clay, the correct thickness, just the same, and then you can cut some nice little pieces that are approximately 1/4 inch, approximately. Just like so, okay? And then you can actually take this and measure the inside of the opening, and that's approximately 3.5, and find 3.5, and go in just a 1/16, or an 1/8 rather, and you're gonna measure there, and make it 3, there we are. And then you're going to very lightly, with the blunt end, draw a line here, all the way around. And on the inside of that, you can also crosshatch and attach or score and attach a nice rim for the inside. Now this is very quick, very quick. You can attach a nice rim on the inside here. And what this rim does is it allows, let me pick up a little piece of clay right here. It allows you, and we'll take our needle and cut through both of these to get us our nice clean finish. And then we'll put the other one, and we'll have to cut through both of those. Good. Cleaning that up. Great. And then we're going to put them right on our line, just like that. Now, if you can see it in the video, I've put a little rim around here. This little rim, once you attach it, once you score it, and it's perfectly the way you want it, nice and measured out, it will go on the inside of this pot like so to prevent the lid from sliding left to right. You see that? And once we get this done like this and attach it, and once you put the slip on the bottom and you attach it real good, clean it, let it dry a little while, let it dry, and then before it is super, super hard, you'll flip it over like this, and that's when you'll put the handle on the top like that. Okay? So this is the lid, this is the handle, and this is the rim underneath that goes down into the opening here. And remember, you can take clay like this, and you can do all sorts of things on the outside. You can add, you can take a little piece, watch this, isn't this neat? You can take a little piece of a ball of clay like this, roll it out like that, and you can actually just stick them right on the corner like that, and you can give it a little pinch, and you can go all the way around that pot on the edges, putting those things in. What a nice design that is. Or you can take them off and you can put them around the edges, or you can draw really neat things around the sides of the pots, or you can put a design on the pots like this, it's unlimited what you can do with your slabs in this way. So, but what we've made here is we took a piece of clay, we have rolled it out to an appropriate thickness. You see the thickness of that. That is a recommended amount. That is a little bit less than my fingernail width. That's great. That's a good thickness for you. It's consistent. Roll that out on your masonry board, on your bat board, and then cut it out to length. Always have a drawing. Always have a drawing. Here's my drawing for our piece today, and we added the lid to it. We fabricated it. We put it together. We scored it. We're using the same techniques as we did on the other ones, except we're using slabs. We're using these straight pieces like this. So it's all relative in making pieces out of clay here. So we have our lid, we have our vessel, and this lid is not going to be near hard enough to lay on here to demonstrate, but I want to show you. And then you're going to put your lid on like so, and you're going to be finished with that, and then you're going to make it decorative and all that. Okay, so this has been Ceramics and Art, and this has been the slab construction with clay. This is Jeff Rivette from William Carey University.